My boyfriend is a mechanic at a dealership where I bought my car. It's how we met. It's been a running joke between us that if he ever hurt me, I was going to FK one of the salesmen at his job. He hates every last one of them, but he really can't stand one guy in particular. The salesman, his name is Greg, hooked up with my boyfriend's work crush a year before we had met, only because he knew about my boyfriend's crush and wanted to get under my BF's skin. Well, it turns out my boyfriend cheated on me. He hooked up with a girl he met on a night out, and I found out because one night he was passed out drunk, and I went to plug his phone in and his screen lit up with a text from her. It was definitely flirty. So naturally I looked at the conversation history, and it was very incriminating. They never fully hooked up as far as I can tell, but they had been going to lunch together since she works nearby, and there was at least one incident where she jerked him off on one of those lunch meetings. This went down about 6 months ago, and they hadn't seen each other in quite some time, but I was still pissed off. I confronted him about it, and what really pissed me off is that he tried to deny it at first. He tried to say that they were just friends, but all of the evidence was there. It's been a few weeks since I found out, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions. I decided that if I was going to stay with him, I would have to get him back. He left today for 5 days to go visit some family across the country. I told him that I would go pick up a tool and that Greg had borrowed, and had him text Greg to leave it on his porch so I could grab it. I got pretty busy after dropping him off at the airport and wasn't able to come get it until about midnight after hanging out with some of my girlfriends. As soon as I pulled up to Greg's house, he had come outside, presumably seeing me pull up on his security camera. We got to chatting, and turned out he was just getting home from a boys' night himself. We decided to keep the fun times going and hit up a dive bar down the road from him. Turns out Greg was actually a pretty cool dude. We bonded on mutual hobbies and a love for the same kind of drink. After last call at 2 a.m., I invited him to my car to smoke a joint. The subject of my boyfriend's cheating him up, and it started to make me tear up a little. He put his hand on my shoulder and asked if there was anything he could do, though, to make me feel better. I was feeling bold and told him I wanted to get back at my BF, and that I hadn't come in weeks because I felt so sad. I spread my legs a little bit, and Greg instinctively put his hand on my side and let it travel up my leg. I took his hand and slid it up my shorts. They were pretty loose, and I wasn't wearing any panties. I know he felt how wet I was, because after rubbing his fingers on my swollen clit for a second, he said 2 of them inside of me easily. I moaned and thrust my hips toward his hand. And with perfect timing, my boyfriend called me up to say goodnight. It only took me a split second to decide to answer the call while Greg's fingers were buried deep in my pussy, as my boyfriend was recounting his flight and telling me how much he missed me. Greg lifted my shirt and pulled my bra down to expose my tits. I almost came while my boyfriend's work nemesis was pounding my pussy with his fingers and swirling his tongue around my hard nipple. I told my boyfriend I loved him while I fought off the urge to come right there. I ended the call, and only a few seconds later I was having one of the best orgasms of my life. We both giggled about it. I told Greg to keep his mouth shut at work, and then we parted ways. And unlike my boyfriend, I left no evidence. I haven't even called or texted Greg myself. Now it's 3:30 a.m. My BF is sleeping peacefully, and I'm home about to make myself come again, thinking about Greg sliding his fingers in and out of me while saying to my unsuspecting BF sweet dreams, "I love you." Thank you for watching this emotional journey. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more captivating stories like this. Your support means everything to us.